Hello again, it's the Goof. There's something I wanted to talk about, and somebody here recently reminded me of this. And since they reminded me of it, I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Now, I'm not a huge fan of wrestling. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't dislike it. I mean, I grew up watching it with my father. But there was something that happened, and it irked the hell out of me. And it's something I had meant to talk about, and I hadn't done it yet. And then, like I said, I want to thank Dynastic Mania for reminding me of this whole thing, about this whole topic, because I had some shit to say about it. I thought it was stupid in my opinion. And I blame greed. I blame investors, greedy investors, who just want to see things pushed a certain way in their favor to make as much money as possible. They end up ruining something great in the process. What I'm talking about is the WWE. Now let me read what he said, what Dynastic Mania said about it. Uh, he was responding to my video about the investor, having to do with the Nintendo investor, that idiot, and he compared it to this other situation with the WWE. Uh, he said, I'm not going to curse. He cursed, but I'm not going to curse. He says, yeah, what a effing joke. Just like with the WWE, they don't even know how the wrestling business works, so their investors plunge into it. The end result, McMahon dumbs down the product and calls it sport entertainment. And is it sports entertainment? I think he called it sports. But yeah, he's right. Instead of wrestling, and slaps a PG rating along with a bunch of bad PR advertising, just so they can keep interest into the product for the sake of their investors. And I like this other thing he said. He said, while Nintendo sticks to their guns, and what does that say about American companies? What does that say about American companies? Nintendo, a Japanese company, is sticking to their guns despite the investors. And a company here in the U.S. did. They succumb. They dropped their own, oh, sorry about that, their own ideologies. They dropped them, and their own vision. I can't help but think it was a vision for them. They completely changed course just for these greedy investors. Nintendo stuck to their guns, but yeah, he's right. And I'm glad he reminded me of this. Thank you, Dynastic Mania. Thank you. That was stupid. What the hell is wrong with investors? Greed. Greed. Greed is a powerful thing that can ruin good things. Just so they can see more money made. They were trying to make it, even though there were already kids watching it, they wanted to make it even more family friendly. I don't think it was that. I think it was because they were under fire. They were a violent thing, and here were little kids watching it. And I think they were under fire from the media and stuff, and that was part of the reason it was changed. But it was stupid to change it, stupid to do all the things they did with the WWE. Starting with calling it WWE, what happened to the World Wrestling Federation? When I was growing up, it was WWF, World Wrestling Federation. Just because of some animal thing, just because of some animal protection agency or some crap, we had to get, what is it, the World Wildlife Foundation? Yeah. Just because they were WWF too, the World Wrestling Federation had to change their name. If it was me, I would have looked at them and said, F you. F you. You can go hug the little furry animals all you want. You leave me the hell alone. We're about wrestling. That would have been me. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of wrestling, but I'm passionate about it for the simple reason that my father was into it. And I still watch it every now and then. Every now and then. I have a few favorites. When I was younger, I was a Hulkster. I was a Hulkamaniac. I was into Hulk Hogan. I love that dude. I love that guy. Later on, I got into The Undertaker. I got into Sting. I got into Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah! I love that guy. He used to do Slim Jim commercials. Step into a Slim Jim. Yeah, that was a great. That was genius back in the day to put him in there. Here's what wasn't genius about their ad campaign: having a guy dressed up as a meat stick, shoving his head out through a hole and going, "Eat me." That was just wrong. But I really loved Macho Man Randy Savage. I thought he was awesome. He was one of my favorite wrestlers back then. And then there was I can't remember his name. He had long hair. He wore a kilt. He wore a kilt. I wonder if he was. Yeah, he wore a kilt. I can't remember his name. I like that. I do like wrestling to an extent. I think the format has changed over time, making me not like it so much. It's just the format, the way they've adjusted it nowadays. I don't like it. Oh, God, got so much. Sorry, my nose is clogged up today. I've got some kind of sinus irritation or something. Forgive me. But yeah, this is all just this is not so much about WWE as it is about investors themselves. This is a message to all of you investors. This is a message to you. If you do not understand something, do not invest in it. You need to be able to understand a market before you invest in it. You need to understand a company before you invest in it. Okay, this is common sense when it comes to investing. Don't just invest into it because it's popular and you think you're going to get a huge return. That's idiotic. Anytime you invest money, it should be because you have a lot of it and you want to see it put to some use. That's what investing should be for. In my mind. But for a lot of investors, it's greed. It's make more money. And it's ruining things. It's ruining once great things. It's ruining wrestling. And thankfully, it hasn't ruined Nintendo. Thankfully, Nintendo's sticking by their guns because they know the money will be made eventually. They'll start making that money if they do things right. You can't rush this stuff. And any of these guys who don't understand it, pull out. Do you understand me? Pull out. If you can pull out your investments. Stop investing in Nintendo. Move elsewhere. I swear to God, if I had the money, I would be invested in Nintendo. I'd be right there at the meeting. I would give my input. But for the most part, I would invest because I love the company. I love video games and I love Nintendo. And that would be why I invest. And that is why you should invest. If you don't understand it, I don't know who you are. But if you don't understand what you're invested in, don't invest in it. Don't get in there and change it because you're not getting the returns you want to get. Because you ruin it for a lot of people. You know what happens in the process? You ruin it for those people. Those people move away from it, and then it ends up being no profit at all because of your stupid greed. It'll happen. It's a chain reaction. I've seen it happen before. I've seen companies go straight ways to HE double hockey stick because of this crap. It pisses me off. Alright, 8 minutes is enough for a video. I've made my point. The world today, it is filled with corruption, in my opinion. Like I said before, I don't blame somebody for wanting to make money. I mean, but the way they go about it, the greed, and just not knowing what they're going into, and then changing it to what they feel it should be, in the process making it less. I've said it already. You get the point. All right, this has been the goof. Yes, I wasn't very goofy this time. I was pissed because it is something that irks the hell out of me. All right, yes, this has been the goof. Have a good one. See ya.